Hello, God's favorite children. Or should I say, capitalism's favorite victims. Look around you. The Christmas spirit is choking the streets right now, isn't it? Twinkling lights blinding your eyes, jingle bells drilling into your brain on an endless loop, and that fat, bearded guy in a bright red suit laughing at you from every billboard, every soda can, and every shopping mall. It feels magical, doesn't it? It feels ancient, like a tradition that has been with us since the dawn of time. But wait, have you ever stopped to ask yourself, why is Santa red? Why not green? Why not blue? Why not a deep royal purple? And why does this religious holiday feel so much like a frantic race to empty your bank account before the year ends? The answer I'm about to give you will slap you in the face. You are not looking at a saint. You are not looking at a magical being from the North Pole. You are looking at the greatest marketing mascot in the history of mankind. The Santa Claus you know today. The jolly fat man who defines your childhood is basically a walking, talking, living billboard for the Coca-Cola company. Today, we are going to perform an autopsy on the holiday season. We are going to peel back the layers of marketing, lies, and stolen history to reveal the dark truth about Christmas. So, put down the eggnog, hide your credit card, and let me tell you the story of the biggest cultural kidnapping of the 20th century. Let's rewind the clock. Let us go back to before 1930, back to a time when Santa was UNT, the friendly grandpa you trust with your kids. If you walked into a village in Europe 200 years ago and asked about Saint Nick, they wouldn't point to a fat guy in red. Back then, the image of the gift giver was a total mess. It was chaos. Every culture drew him differently. Sometimes he was a tall, skinny, spooky bishop wearing green robes symbolizing the coming spring. Sometimes he was a hunter wearing brown animal furs, looking like a survivor from The Revenant. And sometimes he was terrifying. You see, in the old folklore, St. Nicholas didn't travel alone. He had a partner, a dark shadow. His name was Krampus. While St. Nick gave oranges and nuts to the good kids, Krampus was a horned, hairy demon with a long tongue who handled the naughty list. And he didn't just give them coal. Oh no. The legends say Krampus would beat naughty children with birch branches, stuff them into a sack, and drag them down to the underworld. That was the original Christmas vibe. Fear, obedience, be good, or the demon will take you. It goes back even further. Before Saint Nick, there was Odin, the All-Father of Norse mythology. During the winter solstice, Odin would lead the wild hunt across the sky, riding his 8-legged horse. Sleipnir does an old man with a long white beard, riding a magical beast through the night sky. Sound familiar? That's right. Santa didn't start with reindeer. He started as a Viking war god. So, how did we go from a terrifying Viking god and a child kidnapping demon to a chubby guy who likes cookies? Enter the 20th century. Enter the Industrial Revolution. And most importantly, enter Coca-Cola. In the late 1920s and early 30s, Coca-Cola had a massive, multi-million-dollar problem. They had successfully hooked America on their sugary water, but there was a catch. People only drank soda when it was hot. To the average American, Coke was a summer drink. It was for baseball games and beach trips. When winter came and temperatures dropped below freezing, sales plummeted. The factories sat idle. The profits froze. The executives at Coca-Cola were panicking. They needed a way to trick Americans into drinking an ice-cold carbonated beverage in the middle of a blizzard. They needed a spokesman, someone who represented winter, but a warm winter, a happy winter. They looked at the old St. Nick legends. The skinny bishop, the scary elf, and said, "No, this won't work. He looks too creepy. He doesn't look like someone who drinks soda." So, in 1931, they hired an illustrator named Haddon Sundblom. and they gave him a mission that would change the world forever. The brief was essentially, hey buddy, reinvent Santa Claus for us. Make him look approachable. Make him look like a grandfather. Make him look thirsty. And here is the kicker. The most important rule of the contract. You must paint him using our official company branding colors, Coca-Cola red and Coca-Cola white. Sundblom picked up his paintbrush and went to work. He didn't use the old scary references. He looked in the mirror. He used his own cheerful, chubby face as a model. He stripped away the green robes of the forest. He stripped away the brown furs of the hunter. He dressed Santa in the bright, aggressive red of the Coca-Cola logo. He gave him the white fur trim to match the white script on the bottle. When the campaign launched, it was a nuclear explosion of marketing. Coca-Cola spent millions plastering this new Coke Santa on the back of magazines, on huge billboards, in-store windows across the country. Because this was during the Great Depression, people were desperate for happiness. They were poor, hungry, and miserable. And here was this glowing, fat, happy man holding a Coke, promising that everything would be okay. The image was so powerful, so psychologically comforting, that it literally overwrote history. Within a generation, we completely forgot the skinny green Santa. We forgot Krampus. We forgot Odin. The public accepted this commercial mascot as the real Santa Claus. Do you understand the scale of this manipulation? A religious figure, a symbol of generosity, hijacked by a corporation to sell sugar water. Now, every time you visualize Santa, you aren't seeing a saint. You are seeing a subliminal advertisement for Coke. You are celebrating the triumph of a brand over culture. But the Coke Santa is just the tip of the iceberg. The rabbit hole goes deeper. Let's talk about the date. December 25th. If you ask a priest, they will tell you it's the birthday of Jesus Christ. But if you ask a historian or, even if you actually read the Bible, you'll find a glitch in the matrix. The Bible never mentions December 25th. In fact, the clues in the texts like shepherds watching their flocks by night suggest Jesus was likely born in the spring or autumn. Shepherds don't keep sheep out in the fields in the middle of a frozen Judean winter. So, why December? Why the 25th? Because the church pulled a classic corporate takeover strategy. Long before Christmas, the ancient Romans celebrated Saturnalia in December. This was the biggest party of the year. It honored Saturn, the god of agriculture, and it was wild. I'm talking the purge meets the hangover. For 1 week, society was turned upside down. Masters served their slaves. Gambling was legal. People ran through the streets naked, singing, feasting, and exchanging gifts. It was a celebration of the winter solstice, the return of the sun god, Sol Invictus. As Christianity spread, the church leaders had a problem. They couldn't get the pagans to stop partying. The Romans loved Saturnalia too much, so, instead of banning it, they decided to rebrand it. They used a Trojan horse tactic. They said, okay, fine, you can keep your party, you can keep the feasting, you can keep the gift-giving, but we're changing the name tags. We're calling it Christmas now. Boom! Saturnalia became Christmas. The sun god became the Son of God. The chaotic street parties became caroling. It was the greatest rebranding exercise in religious history. Now, let's fast forward to the modern era. The church hijacked the pagans. Coca-Cola hijacked Santa. But who is running the show now? It's not the Pope, and it's not even Coke anymore. It is the Church of Consumerism. Look at the rituals we perform today. We drag a dying tree into our house. We decorate it with plastic junk, and we pile offerings underneath it. Why do we give gifts? Is it really because of love? Or is it because of guilt? In the early 20th century, marketing pioneers like Edward Bernays realized something profound. Unsustain an economy on needs. People only need so much food and clothing. To get rich, you have to make people buy things they don't need. You have to manufacture desire. Retail corporations created a season of obligation. They weaponized your emotions. They created a narrative where your worth as a parent, a partner, or a friend is directly tied to the price tag of the gift you give. If you love her, you'll buy diamonds. If you're a good dad, you'll buy the PS5. It's called the commercialization of affection. We don't gather to talk anymore. We gather to watch each other open boxes. The climax of the holiday isn't the dinner. It's the unboxing. It's a competition. Who spent the most? Who cares the most? And the fallout is devastating. Statistics show that January is the month with the highest rates of divorce and depression. Why? Because the Christmas high wears off. The dopamine crashes. And then the credit card bills arrive. Families are torn apart by financial stress caused by trying to live up to a fantasy created by department stores. Santa doesn't give free gifts, my friends. He charges interest. 25% APR. Think about the story of the elves. We tell our kids that Santa has a workshop of happy little elves making toys. What is that really teaching them? It's normalizing the idea of an invisible, industrial workforce toiling away in harsh conditions to produce cheap plastic. Goods for the West, Santa is the ultimate CEO. He runs a factory in the middle of nowhere, pays zero taxes, offers zero benefits, and delivers the product overnight using unpaid labor. It's not a fairy tale. It's an Amazon fulfillment center with better PR. So, here is the lesson. Here is the red pill. Christmas, as we know it, is a multi-layered illusion. Layer 1, a stolen Roman orgy used to convert pagans. Layer 2, a marketing campaign by a soda company to sell sugar in winter. Layer 3, a psychological trap designed to drain your savings account under the guise of love. Am I telling you to burn your Christmas tree? Am I telling you to tell your crying 5-year-old that Santa is a fraud? No. Go ahead. Eat the turkey. Drink the wine. Hug your family. But do it with your eyes open. Break the cycle of guilt. Don't let a red-suited mascot dictate your self-worth. Don't let a TV commercial tell you that you're a failure if you don't buy the latest gadget. The system wants you stressed. It wants you broke. It wants you compliant. Rebel against it by doing the one thing they can't monetize. Give your time. Give your attention. Sit with your family and actually talk. Share a story. Share a laugh. That is the only thing that is real. An iPhone 16 Pro Max will be obsolete in 12 months. A memory of a peaceful night with the people you love. That actually is forever. Stay safe, stay smart, and don't get played by the algorithm this year. As for me, I'm going to go pour myself a glass of Pepsi just to piss off the fat man in the red suit.